Thank you for the Deputy Mayor for doing that. Thank you for everyone being with us. Item 4.5. I'd just like to acknowledge the members of the press here. Okay, 4.5, we'll get into it. Petition Kuratau Omori Erosion.
The process is not wrong. The process is wrong.
Presenting this, Tina.
Yeah, but you said the process was wrong. It's not wrong. The process is perfectly wrong. Yes.
Does it work? Okay.
But didn't get the process wrong.
All right. Petition. So we've got Mr. Nevilson. And Mrs. Nevilson.
Make people feel uncomfortable, so we won't get the support.
Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies.
Yeah, you come to.
This is, the item is to receive a petition on the topic of Kuratau Omori Erosion. I'd like to introduce yourselves. So, I know Mrs. Nevilson, nice to see you. Sorry, this gentleman.
My name is Mike Bowie. I'm the chairman of the Omori Kuratau Ratepayers Association.
Good afternoon, Mike. Nice to have you here. Thank you for your patience and waiting for us this afternoon. The floor is yours, and we've allowed 10 minutes, I believe. You've got two presenters? Yeah, so 20 minutes in total. Thank you, Mike. Would you like to lead out, or Rod?
I refer to Rod as a lead.
Okay, Rod. Thank you.
So we have before you a written submission for today. It is in bold print and light print. We are not going anywhere near the light print because we can't handle that in 10 minutes, and therefore we're leaving you to read that. In addition to that, we have a yellow print version, which I have, which is an attempt to bring us down to closer to around 12 minutes. And then Michael will then further speak, and we have a series of photographs which the staff have for showing on the screens if we have sufficient time to get through those photographs. So commencing at the paper that you have, and I'll give you a little bit of leading as we go through, but before we start, this is the formal petition and we present it to you today. Don't need a photo, but it is there for you. The petition, starting at paragraph 1. The petition began on the 3rd of January 2017. As of yesterday, there are now 1,030 petitioners. The petition is in two parts, an online and a more traditional petition. 2. The aim of the petition is to ensure that Taupo District Council and Waikato Regional Council immediately establish an action plan to stem the foreshore erosion experienced at Kuratau Omori. Erosion rates escalate. Time has run out. There is urgent need for mitigation action to occur April through June 2017 while the lake is at a traditional annual low point. Paragraph 3, first bullet point. Investigation of erosion commenced at Kuratau in 2004 with 13 sites profiled and measured from the river mouth to south of the Omori water intake plant. There is attachment map A. Fifth bullet point at the bottom of the page. Despite 12 years of assessment, the erosion problem compounds. Part of the problem is that the monitoring reports are not widely read nor reported on publicly. A beach nourishment program of 3,500 metres cubed in 2013 was a useful step, but was too little, too late. It failed to check the situation as there was no supporting mechanisms to hold the sand on shore. Technical assessment at the time indicated that due to differing grain sizes and sand composition, the imported sand would move offshore at double the rate of in situ sand. The consultant's predictions were correct, as 6 of the 23 photos to be shown to you will confirm. Beach nourishment alone is not enough. A long string of consultants' reports progressively prioritised the Kuratau issues, but no serious long-term corrective action has in fact occurred. We now move to paragraph 5. In recent years, the Regional Council has budgeted for erosion expenditure and had cash readily available to financially support any TDC-initiated erosion project to the extent of 45% of the cost. However, TDC has failed to make use of such funds for a Kuratau project. The limited beach nourishment project was in fact largely funded by donated sand from Genesis and by Mercury, Mighty River Power, paying the cartage and spreading bills. Paragraph 6. Attachment 3 to the petition within the agenda sets out erosion losses on the most seriously affected area, the north-east end stretch of the Kuratau Beach Reserve, where at sections 10 and 11, 60 to 80% of the reserve is now lost. A full summary and detailed data is available for the erosion losses from the river mouth to Tiwai Point, the spit. In particular, at the Omori Ramp, a series of erosion episodes over several years have been significantly compounded by southeasterly winds at higher lake levels. Erosion can occur in the winter through summer, and as a result of northeast, east and southeast winds, which occur for about 20% of the time. 30% of the time, I'm sorry. The cause of the erosion losses are complex. They include development of land uses, land use conversion of forest to farm, lake levels given use of the lake as a hydropower reservoir since 1941, removal of foreshore vegetation, a TDC management issue, effects of man-made shoreline structures, and effects of natural shoreline fluctuations, including sediment processes, wind patterns, and wave action. However, the foreshore cannot wait for further wind and wave analysis, first programmed in 2008 for 2009-2010. For erosion purposes, there is no immediate apparent need of it, given 20 years of lake-wide research and 10 years of Kuratau monitoring of erosion, 2006 to 2016. Paragraph 8. Another statement is that the power generators manage the lake, or better than, just like natural. However, attachment 2 in your agenda demonstrates a 64% increase in water flows into the Lake Taupo, 1939 to 2007. Subsequently, an issue of lake management practices has arisen from 1999 onwards. Attachment 4 in your agenda focuses on thought on recent changes in management of lake levels, a 5-year period, 2011 to 2016. The comparisons made to earlier research highlight that there is much more water in the lake for increasing long periods of time. In 2016, the duration of the extremely high levels, 46% of the time, was more than double the long-term duration of 20% of the time 1905 to 1941, and a further comparison to 1979 to 1999. Attachment 5. It is a graph printed from Mercury Energy's site. It records the lake has been above 357 MASL from about the 1st of August 2016 to around 16th of January 2017. That is, no fluctuation. Model wave data adequately establishes the probability of a common everyday wave on the lake at Kuratau, Omori of up to 0.9 of a metre for a 2.33 year, which is the deemed annual return period. Many of us with practical experience of the lake can confirm this. Given the wave modelling, the holding of the lake high through periods of high winds, which has an inevitable result, the erosion of the Kuratau Delta land and the erosion of the Omori boat ramp access. Cross on page 5. A key factor in management of lake levels is that mercury
Page 4.
sorry.
Yours is wider spacing.
Sorry, a key factor in management of lake levels is that mercury is under pressure to perform. Lake Taupo accounts for 855 million cubic metres of water within the Waikato hydro storage scheme. That's just a mere 93.4% of the total 915 million cubic metres within the scheme. The 855 million cubic metres is then used 5.8 times annually. The document from where this is extracted goes on to state, the aim is to have the lake around 356.8 to 357.0 MASL at the start of each year for drought contingency purposes. The 2016 mission was accomplished as of the 1st of August 2016 and right through to the 1st of January 2017 at the expense of Kuratau Omori. Paragraph 9. Overall, the crux of the matter is that the combination of the events mentioned plus what may be termed negligence, that is, lack of action by the wider group of stakeholders, including the councils, to mitigate erosion. This situation results in the continuous erosion regime recorded at Kuratau 1962-63 to 2017, a period of 53 years. The severe worsening 2004 to 2017 with section per annum erosion rates up 140 to 198% is unacceptable. I refer you to attachment 3 in your agenda. The Kuratau sewage infrastructure and the Omori boat ramp infrastructure are now at serious risk. The loss of reserve land is substantial. The potential loss of sealed car parking at Mototaki and Parahopi streets creeps closer day by day. Restoration of the shoreline and revegetation of the reserves must occur. There is real need for a new level of collective responsibility, action, accountability to be established here and now, today, or at least this month. Paragraph 10. 3 basic courses of action appear to exist, but each is unpalatable to respective stakeholders. A. Let the erosion rip, lose the foreshores, lose the reserves, and retreat the houses from the foreshore, a solution notated by TDC in April 2008. This is not an option acceptable to the petitioners. Quite rightly, this is an issue of private rights. The residents bought and built in good faith in improved subdivisions without local authority warning of risks and hazards and with a community expectation of continuing use of reserves. B. Lower the lake levels, limit power production. But hydropower has its own form of existing use right established by the New Zealand Government in 1941 and indeed is a use further resource consented given specific priority under Section 7 of the RMA 1991. But it has resultant effects, which must be taken into account and mitigated. C. Accept the status quo and resolve the problems. That is, the local authorities need to swallow hard and provide both action and appropriate finance for erosion protection. Invariably, such action will require work on the lake bed. The lake bed, which is a taonga and is land owned by another stakeholder. Approval must be sought for work on that lake bed. In addition, such situation requires good corporate citizenship, recognition of effects and endorsement and financial commitment on the part of the 3 power generators as the users and beneficiaries of a national water resource. In turn, the community will need to accept constraints as to aspect and use of the reserves as shorelines and vegetation are restored. Paragraph 12. 10 years of procrastination has occurred. This is the prime reason we are here today. What has been too hard to be resolved must be resolved now. The fragile egg timer of the foreshore is running out of sand. The most important amenity of the local district has been and is still being destroyed. To paragraph 14. The community plea today is for Council to endorse continued consultation but ensure urgent action and expenditure. To this end, with the consent of your CEO, 6 members of the community have met with TDC and WRC officers and 2 representatives of Tonkin Taylor consultants retained by TDC. The purpose, to advance practical discussion that could lead to more positive erosion mitigation. We trust that Council will provide the CEO with a clear mandate to pursue and accomplish initial erosion contract works at Omori and Kuratau within April, May, June 2017, the period of anticipated lower lake levels, and to specifically provide for future work in the long-term plan presently under review. The earnest desire of the originator of this position, and indeed the officers of the community organisations to whom Council's response should be directed, is that the local authorities and other Lake Taupo stakeholders urgently and constructively meet their statutory duties and other responsibilities to sustain, maintain and enhance the environment of future generations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rod.
You like to?
Detailed submission. Mike.
Thank you. I would like to give a more human side to the story rather than bamboozle you with science. But let me emphasise right at the start that I'm as passionate as Rod is about the situation in Omori Kuratau. My presentation. Mayor Trewavas and Councillors, thank you for the opportunity to present this petition on behalf of the community and friends of Omori Kuratau. As I mentioned, I'm chairman of the Omori Kuratau Ratepayers Association, an organisation representing 974 property owners in the Omori Kuratau area. Lake Taupo region has been a part of my life since the 1950s. For the last 40 years, my wife Barb and I, our family and friends, have been coming to Kuratau for holidays, summer and winter. It's our Turangi-Tongariro whai, our place in the world. Mayor Trewavas, I have heard you fronting the TDC radio advertising campaign a number of times over the summer. Your message resonated with me. After nearly 40 years of holidaying in Kuratau, we moved permanently here, established a successful hospitality business that brings in considerable income and benefit to the region. Barb and I are fortunate to live in Mototaiku Street, Kuratau, already mentioned in Rod's comments. From our property, it's a short 150-metre walk to arguably the best beach in Lake Taupo. The lake is shallow here, allowing kids to develop water skills and safety. Parents come down to the end of Mototaiku Street, sit on the bench under the shade of a willow tree and watch their children, as Mayor Trewavas says in the radio ad, splash and dash about. It's an idyllic scene. I'd like to show you this idyllic scene. This picture was taken on Waitangi Day Sunday 2000, just 2 days ago. And as you will know, Mr. Mayor, you were down that area, so you know how idyllic the place was. Just, this picture, for those of you who don't know the area, was taken from the beach in front of Mototaiku Street, if you can call it a beach, looking north towards the Kuratau river mouth. The reality is that a few years ago the willow tree was chopped down, while the park bench, complete with concrete base, was so undermined by rising water and wave action that it collapsed into the lake and was taken away by council staff. Regrettably, this image is repeated the length of the Kuratau beach, from T-Ray Point to the Kuratau river mouth, nearly a kilometre of once pristine foreshore and sandy beach. The only silver lining, however dubious, is the distance to the water edge from our property in Mototaiku Street is now probably 10-15 metres shorter. This reality is repeated in Omori, where sandy beaches are at a premium for such a large holidaymaker catchment. The only easily accessible beach area is a small strip directly north of the Omori boat ramp. This beach is well patronised by families wishing to swim, sail and picnic. I'd like to show you this idyllic setting. This picture was taken on Wellington Anniversary Week in 2017, again 2 weeks ago. Again, for those of you who don't know the area, this is taken from the end looking south to the Omori boat ramp and jetty, which you can see in the distance. What we have, I believe, is a collision between man in the form of high lake levels for extended periods, combined with the removal and non-replacement of fauna and flora, both native and introduced, and nature in the form of winds from the easterly direction and associated wave action. I would describe this as our perfect storm. Mayor Trewavas and councillors, the erosion of the Omori Kuratau area has to stop. Erosion of our area was a major discussion topic at our recent AGM. We have just presented you with a petition of more than 1,000 signatures raised since our AGM held on the 3rd of January 2017. At this point, I'd like to acknowledge the positive support and input we have received from Greg Hadley of the TDC and Alan Kirk of the Waikato Regional Council. They, however, can only make recommendations. The power to act rests with you. The group of property owners that I represent sincerely hope that you'll act decisively, positively, and above all, quickly. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Mike. And thank you, Rod.
So now we'd like to screen some photos. Photo number 1 is at the Kuratau river mouth in 2017. Next one, thank you. That is the Kuratau beach in 2010 after erosion had commenced. The white is pumice, represents where water has passed over and subsequently receded. Thank you. That is the Kuratau beach in 2011 after the more settled position after the 2011 storm. Next one. That is the Kuratau beach in June 2013. What you're looking at there is the beach replenishment, and you will note that it reaches out to the willows that originally stood about 6 or 7 metres inside the shoreline. Thank you. This is the Kuratau beach in January 2017, and the bulk of that beach replenishment has disappeared. Thank you. We now move to Parahope car park area. That is the beach replenishment taking place in June 2013, looking south. That is the same area looking north, and you can see the extent and the depth of the beach replenishment that was carried out. This is the same area looking north, following the previous photo at 17th of January 2017. The sand is gone and if you go there today, you'll find that the car park is within 2 metres of the shoreline. Same area, stressing the point that I've just made, we're coming up to the barriers of the car park. Thank you. That's a little dark, but it's the manhole at the north of the Parahope car park, awash in 2017 on the 21st of January. And that is the same area of the manhole, the sewer manhole, that is now on the beach edge today, and you can see the wash that has come across by a substantial number of metres to the line of the car parked in the back of the photo. Next section. This sequence of photos is still in action on the Kuratau beach. That is to 24th of August 2008. The static lake level was 315.716 metres above sea level. The forecast wind was 15 knots. January 2011, 3 years later, the static lake level was higher than 357.25 in that photo. Same storm, same situation. Next one is the 22nd of August 2014. This photo was taken by Will Shirer, one of our local community. The significance of that photo is that wave action, which is primarily from the southeast, is at a lake level of lower than 356.5. You have to transpose that sort of shot onto a lake level of 357.250. And the further photo of Will Shirer's is a similar sort of situation. The lake level is no greater than 356.5. You can see the impact on the Kuratau jetty. The next series of photos are at Omori, and they are more recent ones. That's looking towards the Omori jetty from the north on the 4th of October. And you can see the erosion there, and we move to a closer up shot. Same date, but just a more direct shot of the erosion. Next one, thank you. This one is at 17th of January 2017, looking from the ramp northwards. This area of land is extensively used by people as a walking track, as a bike track, and for aquatic situations. If we can move to the next photo, the type of craft that often are launched here are this sort of boards and small yachts. That's 17th of January. Thank you. And that's another one of 17th of January of the effect that has impacted the Omori ramp area. And we've only got a few metres left to put in some containment. The general advice of Tonkin and Taylor, whom we met with just a few days ago, is that there is going to have to be some form of hard works in the area, that we're beyond using soft engineering, and they're away penciling in on this at the moment, and we expect to meet with them further in the company of Greg Hadley and Alan Kirk, and we acknowledge the fact, as Michael has already done, they are cooperative in there and helpful in their understanding. But we do have to move this decision on. It's been 10 years plus in the making, and it should have happened a long time ago. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Rod. And thank you, Mike. Any questions or queries for the councillors of Rod and Mike? Councillor Cousins.
Chair, Rod, Nolan, Michael, thank you so much for your presentation today. I don't want to make light of the situation, but you think you've got problems at Kinloch, you can clearly see that Kuratau is by far a terrible situation. I've followed this along with a great level of interest, as I'm sure Tonganui has, and so is probably Andy and the community board, previous and present. I don't know what to do from here, Gareth, other than for me to say that I fully support measures to be undertaken, or something to be done, and that we commit staff resources to this and sort this out. That's all I can ask.
Councillor Park?
Yeah, I support what Councillor Cousins has said, but also with this petition, are you presenting this personally to Waikato Regional Council as well, or is it up to us to pass?
No, we
what the process is?
We will possibly leave the petition open, but we have had the first sweep through. We have booked an appointment with the Catchment Committee for Lake Taupo of Waikato Regional Council, and this material that we have will go to them, possibly with some additional comments that are more particular to the Regional Council. But on the 1st of March we will do that. We have secondly arranged with Andy Hema to go before the Tongariro Turangi Community Board in a week's time, so that they too are brought up to date.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Kingi?
Yeah, thanks for that, Rod, and if it's put into the presentation and most of it, you might, congratulations on the new post. I spent a morning with Rod and Andy, Greg and Ellen out there end of last year, I guess, to have a look at I guess with my own eyes what was actually going on. I knew there was an erosion issue out there. I didn't realise how extensive it is, and so I do fully support what they're talking about in terms of bringing it to our attention. I suppose it's one of trying to find where to from here, like Councillor Cousins has said. It's a big undertaking. The replenishment project, I think, initially may have targeted certain areas, but now we're talking about an erosion issue that stretches the width and breadth of that whole sort of point, and so it's a massive undertaking. So certainly, we need to get our heads around the table and really work this one out. It's important that Rod identifies the other significant stakeholder in the room, which is Turangi-Tongariro, which we've spoken about previously. And so I believe, obviously the way forward will be to have them at the table to discuss how we fix this, or how we start to fix this. But I just commend your efforts, and I support what you're saying in there.
Okay. Thank you once again. So, Mr. CEO, we can advance this. Obviously, I think you're getting a lot of nods around the room here. It's an important issue to be fixed sooner than later. So
it's getting advanced. All we're asking you to do today is to receive the petition, which is the resolution there. The officers are working with Tonkin Taylor, who are, as Rod said, are doing the designs as we speak, which will come back to the community for their views, because a lot of this has to be community driven in terms of what they want to see there, in terms of hard structures, soft combination of, that makes a big difference. So that work's happening now, and will continue to do so, and it is happening as fast as it possibly can do, with Waikato Regional Council and others.
So through the chair, no distinct timeframes?
My understanding is Tonkin Taylor's report is due back within the next 2 weeks, was my understanding.
Can I ask that you perhaps keep council?
Yep, absolutely.
Can be great.
Does that include costing? Sorry. Yep.
I also ask, resource consenting for keeping the lake levels as is due for review when?
It's a Waikato Regional Council matter. I'm looking at Anne McLeod at the back of the room. Anne, are you aware of you will be aware of the consent conditions?
Yes, I am aware of the reconsenting, and 2018 is when the process for determining whether or not the conditions need to be reviewed. So it's not that's the nature of what it is. That's the determination, is whether or not it needs to be reviewed.
So through the chair, who decides whether it needs to be reviewed? Waikato Regional Council is it for?
Yes.
But they consult with us.
Yep.
So So we can.
No, not necessarily. So it's a decision purely of Waikato Regional Council. The last time the review came up, Taupo District Council did take a position on it, and that position was that we advocated for a review to be undertaken. We advocated through the way of a letter and discussions between the then mayor and the chair, etc. In fact, 3 years before that, we also took a big group of interested people on a bus tour up to try and advocate as well. But it is a decision of Waikato Regional Council themselves as officers.
So there seems to be general consensus by council to change the level of the lake. It's called this untold damage around the whole periphery. You don't have a say in having this reviewed.
No, so what this council has always said is that we haven't gone that far. So to say that the lake level should be changed, but we've always said it should be reviewed. So it should be looked at.
Anything to get reviewed. Yeah.
We haven't taken a view on whether it's right or wrong, but that it should at least be undertaken a public assessment process. But you're right, it's not TDC's, Taupo District Council's role, it's Waikato Regional Council. We don't have a formal legal or moral role in that position.
Councillor Williamson?
Thanks, Rod and Ollie and Mike. I know in the Lake Taupo Foreshore Erosion Physical Works Programme, it's obviously a high priority. It's been recognised, acknowledged. And there is I notice the TDC has a resource consent for beach nourishment till 2032 for up to 40,000 cubic metres of sediment. I think as Gareth was suggesting, obviously with Tonkin Taylor, it's looking at the best options with hard structure, soft options. And I had this discussion with Alison previous and John. So just getting the right mix,
Okay, suggested recommendation there. Thank you very much, Rod. Did you want to?
Can I just make one more comment? The intent is to proceed now in the context of the resource consents that exist and in the context of everything to do with Te Wharatau's title. We think that there is a good case for you dealing with the current situation. Whatever lies out in the future lies out in the future. But if you wait any longer, there won't be anything to deal with.
Thank you, Rod. I appreciate that. And thank you, Mike. Thank you, Nolene. Thank you for coming up today and waiting. Suggested recommendation there. Councillor received. Moved by Councillor Kingy, seconded by Councillor Cousins. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
It's against? Carried.